Hi everyone, this is commercial application for ICSE 2021 and this is a new chapter, Advertising and Brand Promotion. And the topic for today's discussion is definition of advertising, purposes of advertising, types of advertising, ways of advertising, and meaning of publicity. So when you switch on the television or you live through magazines or newspapers, this is what you would definitely see. This is called advertisement. Here you have advertisement on the television. It can be advertisement on the print media. These are the advertisements for the products. You can also see the advertisement of this kind. This is advertisement for the services. This is on the hotel business. This is the repair shop for the repair of mobiles. This is the health related to health, and this is for the appointment. So these are the various kinds of advertisement that we come across. Now this has become very important for any organization, be it a company, commercial organization, or non-commercial organization, be it a government or non-government organization. In order to come before the public, inform the public what are they doing exactly, what are they selling, right? So advertising is one of the important tool of informing the customers about their product, about their services, about their ideas. Now let's say what actually is advertising. In simple words, advertising is a way of communication that has to reach to all type of people, provide information, create awareness among the people relating to a product or service. Now, when you talk about the people here, people can be anybody. It can be customer, it can be supplier, it can be government, it can be financial community, right? So various kinds of information to be given to those different kind of people. The word advertising has been derived from the Latin term advertere, which means turn to. Advertising turns the attention of people to a product, service, or an idea. Let's see the definition of advertising. Advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services by an identified sponsor. And this advertisement has been given by the father of modern marketing, known as Philip Kotler, and also AMA. Now here, few points to know here. Advertising is any paid form. That means it has a monetary value. Money has to be paid to the advertising media, to the advertising agency or media, because the advertiser has to buy time or space. It is non-personal presentation. Non-personal presentation means there is no face-to-face contact between the advertiser and the buyer. Then it has identified sponsor. Look at the advertisement here, this picture here. It is the advertisement done by Hyundai. So here we know the name of the company who is advertising the product. Here the advertisement is done by McDonald's, right? These are the sponsors. That means we can identify the sponsors. We know which company is advertising that particular product. Purpose of advertising. What is the necessity of advertising? Why advertising has become a necessary marketing tool, right, in this competitive world? And in this competitive age, it is really an important tool of communication. Number one, delivering the proper message to customers. Message about what? Message about the product, availability of the product, message related to the company's achievement in order to build favorable image of company in the minds of people. To convince, persuade customers that a company's service or products are best. to remind people about the product. Yes, we see advertisement on the television continuously being shown. What is the purpose of regularly or continuously showing? The only thing is to remind the people about the product. Enhance the image of company. Demonstrate new uses for established products to hold existing customers. To create demand for the product. To increase the sales for the product, right? In order to educate the consumers. So these are some of the purposes of advertising. Now let's see the types of advertising. Number one, product advertising. So it is advertising a particular product. It is promoting a particular product, service in order to increase the sales. So what is the objective of product advertising? Creates demand for a particular product. Another one is bring awareness about the features, uses, merits of the product. Thirdly, to spark of interest in customers, to generate interest in customers for the product, enticing the customers to buy the product and increase the sales of that particular product. Now let's see the advertisement picture here. This is the advertisement done by Amul. Amul has lots of product, but this advertisement is for a particular product, that is Amul Gold. Look at this advertisement here. This is the advertisement by Lipton. This is for a particular product, that is iced tea. So this advertisement is for increasing the sales for this particular product. So it's a product advertisement. Then you have institutional advertising. The aim of this type of advertising is to build a favorable image of a company, business, institutions, or any kind of organization. It is not for promoting a particular product, right? It is for a brand in general. It is for the company in whole, right? It does not attempt to sell anything directly. It informs the public about what the company is doing for the society and the country. It promotes the brand as a whole, and it is also known as umbrella advertising. Now let's see the advertising. Institutional advertising here. It's the advertisement done by Coca-Cola here. The caption, taking steps towards a cleaner, greener planet. So what is this particular company advertising about? The aim or the goal of the company, that is greener India. Save the greens of the country. So this is what the company is trying to give message to the people. Protect your environment. So what is the advantage of this kind of advertising? It will connect, the company will get connected to the people. A favorable image for the company will be created in the mind of the public. Take another example here. ITC, the notebooks that we use, classmate. You know ITC, the major product of ITC is that of cigarettes. But here, ITC also makes classmates stationery, notebook. You must have seen at the back of the page, ₹1 for every notebook is donated to NGO, non-government organization, CRY, that is Child Rights and You. So it is trying to connect with the people, right? So here, the ITC is trying to tell that money is being collected from you, and ₹1 is being donated to that particular NGO in order to promote the child's protection, which is also one of the goals of the government. So the company promotes the objectives of the governments as well, or looks to do for the welfare of the society. This way the company gets connected with the people, and the image is formed, favorable image is formed in the mind of the people. So there comes company awareness. So this kind of institutional advertising will indirectly benefit the company. So the sales of the product will get boost up indirectly. Informative advertising, the third kind. So what does the informative advertising do? What kind of information message it gives out to the people? Telling the market about a new product or service. It informs that a new product has been launched in the market. Explaining how the product or service works. Suggesting new uses of the product. Making the customers aware of about the exclusive features. Providing other information like price change. For example, advertisements suggesting how to save petrol or avoid accidents are informative advertising. We do come across this kind of advertisement on television, advising or suggesting us to save petrol or avoid accidents. Another one, Megap Mart is offering 2 kg sugar for every rupees 1000 purchase. What is this message trying to do? Trying to give information, make the people aware, so that when they go to the shopping mall, they get what is advertised. Let's take the example of the advertisement here. Look at the advertisement here. You have here 110 calories, 6.6 gram carbs, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs. So what is the information provided by this advertising, by this advertisement? That with the increase in the calories, there will be increase in the carbohydrate intake. 96 calories, 3.2 carbohydrates. So 110 calories, so 6.6 grams of carbohydrates. So here this advertisement tells that increased intake of calories will give you more carbohydrate. Similarly, the another advertisement here, $10.90. Here, new pack. This is a new pack, new food, black pepper chicken, right? That means here you get new ingredients with the price 10.90. So it is not telling you to buy the product, rather it's giving you the information that this is what you are going to get from this particular product. Persuasive advertising. Persuasive. That means trying to persuade the customers to buy the product, convince the people to buy the product. Look at the advertisement here. This is advertisement by, yes, can you tell me? McDonald's. I am loving it. Get yours today. Look at the wording here. It is trying to convince you. I'm loving the product. So you also get for yourself today. Get one for yourself, right? Take another advertisement here for the Coke. Share a Coke with. So when you are with your friends, have this drink. Have Coke, right? So this is telling you to buy this particular product when you are among your friends. So persuasive advertising, what does it do? It builds brand preferences. You start liking your brand. Encouraging switching to your brand. You leave another brand and come to this particular brand. Give importance to the brand that you like. Persuading or convincing customers to buy a product like this advertisement here. I'm loving it. Get yours today. Is trying to convince you to buy the product. Convincing customers to tell others about the product or brand. Increase the demand or sell for an existing product or brand. Another one is reminder advertising, as the term goes, to remind people to buy the product, to remind the people about the availability of the product, about the shop where the product is available. So here, reminding people about the product or service or idea, reminding consumers where to buy the products. It is very common in slack off-season. During off-season, these are very important because you need to remind people in order to boost the sales. A brief message may be sent reminding a target customer. Take for example here. Sometimes you get in your email inbox, here is 10% off on your product X. So you get this kind of message in your email, right? So here you are informed about the discount given to the product which you have already searched for or looked for. Look at here. Don't forget your FedEx discount. This is also reminding you about the query that you have made before. Look at this one. Here, a woman is charging her mobile. This is a charging station. There you can see the advertisement of energy drink. You have a picture here, right? So she sees the picture and gets reminded about this product. So this is a kind of reminder advertising whose objective is to remind the people about the product or availability of the product. Concept advertising. So this kind of advertising suggests a new concept as a product. New concept will be promoted as a product. Like here, holidaying, going on a holiday has been visualized or has been related with cycling sports. That means going on a holiday is also as adventurous as any kind of sports. Create demand for a new type of product concept. Aims to change the lifestyle of people going on a holiday. How many of us think of going on a holiday? Very few of us. So this kind of advertisement will influence our mind to take a day off or 2 days off and go on a holidays. Also known as primary demand advertising or pioneering advertising. Here the example given, a diamond is forever. This is a caption, a diamond is forever. Seeks to promote diamond jewelry as a concept. Now when we talk about jewelry, what comes in our mind? Gold, isn't it? But this advertisement is promoting the concept that a diamond can also be a jewelry, just like gold. Now we have direct action advertising. Direct action, that means you get quick response to buy the product after that advertisement. Maybe the customer, after reading that advertisement, may run to buy that product. Like for example, season sales discount. Indirect action advertising. This is designed to make a positive effect on the mind of the reader or viewer and develop a favorable image of the brand or product. It seeks to give benefit over a long period of time. That means here the object is not to have immediate sales. The aim of this advertising is to have a lasting effect in the mind of the people. That means generating sales for a long period of time. So now we have come to know what are the different kinds of advertising and also the meaning of advertising. Now here we will learn about ways of advertising a product. What are the different ways of communicating with the customers or the buyers? So we see here print advertising. So what are they? Flyers, or we also know as leaflets, visiting cards, magazines, newspapers. These are all from the print media. This advertising has a mass appeal. Large people can be covered in a less time, and the effect is enormous. Broadcast advertising, that means this advertisement on television, advertisement through radio, internet, FM. And the advantage of this broadcast advertising is that even the illiterate people can be reached out to. They can also be informed about the product and enticed to buy the product. Outdoor advertising. This advertising is meant for the people who are out of home, who are out on the road, who are outside. Okay? So like here, billboards, this transit advertisement, this kind of advertisement normally we see in the sports complex, right? It's a rotating one. You have kiosk events. You have here trade shows. So these are the advertisements which you see outside. Sometimes even we see the advertisement on the vehicular advertisement. These are meant for attracting the people who are on the street, who are on the move. Another one is covert advertising. This is very interesting. This is a kind of advertisement where a product or particular brand is incorporated in some entertainment and media channels like movies, television show, or even sports. That means you go to see this advertisement in the movies. Take for example here. Here, this is a movie, Koi Mil Gaya. Here you have Bonvita here, right? So this is the advertisement done in the movie. Another one is, this is from Krish, again the Bonvita, which is advertised in the movie. It is being used by the actor here, the main actor, okay? So this kind of advertisement which is done in the movie is known as covert advertising. Celebrity advertising, as you know with the word celebrity, this actor, actress, sportsmen are used in the advertisement in order to give message about the product, right? The message coming from these actors, from the sportsmen are very influential. It influences the mind of the people. It has a long-lasting effect. So it helps in increasing the sales of the product. So here you have the example here. Window displays. You can see here various kinds of goods are displayed in the artistically laid out windows at the shop front. Here, when these products are displayed, it is displayed along with the price tags so that it's easier for the buyers to take the buying decision. Let's take some of the advantages here. Well-organized display enhances product appeal, as you've seen in the picture. Attracts more customers. Promotes impulse buying, that means immediate buying. You get attracted to the product and you take a buying decision immediately. Variety goods are brought to the notice of customers. Customers can select the right one. Well, we all spoke about the advertisement. Advertisement is a way of communicating with the people. So is the publicity. Publicity is also another tool of coming before the public, giving message to the public. But in the publicity, you take the help of media, or media generates the message or information for a particular company or a product in the form of news, storytelling, and so on. And it is a very important tool of communication, or a very important tool of providing about what the company has done, what is the company selling, what are the different social activities that the company is involved in, right? So here publicity generation or generating publicity, what are the things required? Target audience, that means the kind of customers that you are going to provide the message to. Media is normally, what kind of media? It can be a print media or broadcasting media. Then you have message, the subject matter that you are going to give to the people. Then you have a press release. What is publicity? It is giving out information by media in the form of news, stories, articles, or press release about a product, person, or a company. It is not paid for by the organization or company. Mind it here, advertising and publicity. This is the main difference between advertising and publicity. Advertising is paid for. That means money is paid by the sponsor, by the advertising company. But in case of publicity, the advertising company need not pay money. It is free. Money is not paid because this publicity comes from the media, not from the company. It provides It provides significant news of companies' achievements, contribution to the society or community. The message has more credibility. That means this is trustworthy. Why? Because the message does not come from the company. It comes from the media house, from the reporter, from the journalist. Information spread out from the independent source, that is media. It builds name and fame of the company. Now, we are at the end of the topic for today. Distinction between advertising and publicity. This is very important for you all to know. Number one, points of distinction, sponsor. Who is paying for it? The identity of the sponsor is clearly known in advertising. We know who is advertising the product. But in case of publicity, identity of the sponsor is not clear. Number two, source. The message originates from the advertiser. The advertising message comes from the advertiser, whereas the publicity originates from the media house. Payment. The advertiser has to pay to the media owner. It is paid for. Advertising is paid for, whereas publicity is not paid for. Control. Advertising, the sponsor has control over the content and timing of the message. But whereas in case of publicity, media has control over the content and timing. In case of publicity, advertiser or the advertising company has nothing. They cannot control. Everything comes from the media. Nature of message. Advertising is a persuasive. It can be a persuasive message. It can be informative as well. But publicity is always an informative message. That means publicity always tries to inform the public about different things. Okay? So we come to the end of today's topic. Thank you all.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another session of the online classes. Today I'm going to start with another chapter, that is water resources in India. This is chapter 7. Now, first of all, we have to understand that water is a natural resource. It's a renewable, it's eco-friendly, all right? So it comes under the non-conventional source of energy. Now here, as it's already mentioned, water resource refers to the entire range of natural water that occur on the Earth's surface, either in the form of oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, ponds, underground water. So it forms all together. Now we know that the Earth is also called the blue planet, the watery planet, because it's covered 3/4, 71% is covered by water and only 29% is covered by land masses. So that is why it's called the watery planet. It's also called the blue planet, one of the most beautiful planets in our solar family. Right. Now, as we are aware of, actually 97% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, which you find it in the oceans and the seas. So it's lined in nature, salty, right? So this water is not suitable for drinking purpose, but it is used for various other purposes, okay? Like waterways, means of transport, and other things, or other features also, like it supports a very large part of the marine life, okay? But out of that, 3% is found on the Earth's surface in different forms, either in groundwater, in the form of other forms, surface water, all right? Out of that, actually, there's a very small percentage of water that is fit for drinking, right? Now, as it's mentioned here, water resource refers to the entire range of natural water that occur on the Earth's surface. Example, oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, etc. 97% of the Earth's water supply is in the oceans, which is unfit for human consumption, and the remaining 3% is available to us as fresh water. India needs water for various purposes, as you know. Not only India, all the countries around, all the people, those living beings, we can say, all right, require water for various activities. Like India needs water for agriculture because India is basically an agricultural country. Industry, in the industrial sector, for the generation of power, that is hydroelectricity, navigation, water transportation, and domestic purposes also. So water has got, as you know, we can survive without food for days. But without water, it becomes impossible because water forms a very, very important or a very vital part. It plays a very vital role in our daily life also, right? Now, as we are aware of this particular fact that India, as we know, we did in the first, let's say the first chapter that's on climate also, that is, we know about the fact that we receive the monsoons, or we can say, let's put it otherwise, that is water which is available to us, or we get that, there's an uneven distribution of rainfall. The rainfall is very, very unevenly distributed in our country. The main season is from June to September, mostly, all right? The months, that is the rainy season. The remaining part of the year almost remains dry, practically. So because of this fact, there is a deficit of water always in our country, especially in a country like ours where the population is very, very high. Population growth is higher compared to other countries. Now, what you see, demand for water is increasing rapidly with the increase in population. The population is increasing, but the water supply remains the same. Like this is what we are talking about when we talk about agriculture also. In India, we have to follow intensive subsistence agriculture or farming. Why? Intensive means from a small plot of land, they have to get the maximum return. The main reason is because the land remains the same, the structure is the same, all right? The area is the same, area-wise, let's say, we can say, area-wise it is the same, but the population is increasing. So in our country, we can say that the pressure of population on the land is very, very high. So in this case, as I said, the water available to us is the same, but the population is increasing. Because of the growth in population, definitely it becomes a problem. There's scarcity of water in all the fields, whether it may be domestic use and especially agricultural purposes, or in the industrial front or in the industrial sector also. So it is increasing. So there is always a demand for more water. So at present there are so many ways and means by which the government is trying in order to make sure that the supply of water is provided to the people. They can supply the water, all right, and fulfill their demands. But if you look at it, the water supply remains, because of the population growing, the population growth, it's not that the monsoon is also going to extend further. It remains the same. So the amount of water we receive is the same, but what is happening? The population is increasing. So that is why there's always scarcity of water. So for this purpose, in order to meet the demands in all the different fields, it's very important for the conservation of water. Conservation of water is important. The government is following several ways, means, coming up with new means and ways in order to overcome this or to tackle this problem of water shortage, right? Now here, the main source of water, what are the main source of water? Surface water. Surface water over here means the water that is, let's say, on the surface of the earth, either in the forms of rivers, lakes, ponds, all right, these are the natural ones. Now groundwater means that is underground water, like just below the surface of the earth, you find this kind of a water table, which is also known as an aquifer. Aquifer, all right? And in this particular layer, okay, the water gets stored, like the water that we draw from the wells or from the tube wells, all right? So this groundwater as such is also depleting because of the overuse of water. And why is there overuse? It's because of the growth in population. So it's a connection, see, it's connected one and the other. So groundwater, underground water reserves, okay, through cracks, through we call it as fissures, or we call it cracks, or crevices or gaps or opening, what happens is the water gets, it seeps through, all right, from the soil it seeps and it gets collected in the lower table, water table, and that is groundwater. And lagoons and backwater, all right, these are also again found. Where do you find? You find it in the coastal area. Backwater, when we talk about backwater, we get reminded of Kerala, which is well known for tourism, especially for the backwaters. So whenever we say relate to Kerala, the first thing that comes up is, oh, the backwaters, all right. So these are three: surface, groundwater, lagoons and backwater are the main source of water available on the surface of the earth, forgetting about the oceans and the seas, right? Now, as you know, utilization of water, that's why we say that it's save water, like we say save trees, save the environment. Now, as we are aware of, all right, through different ways, and information is sent, all right, in different ways and forms in order to make sure that water is saved. Every drop is very, very important. So there should be no wastage because we run short of water, scarcity, all right. So water requirement and its utilization. So, you know, there are various uses. It's like on and on and on. You can just talk about like what are the uses of water. Now, water is a natural resource which satisfies the basic human needs, starting from early morning. As soon as you get up, the first thing that comes up in the mind is that you need to drink water, water itself. You don't think about food or something. It's water. Now, for your household activities, whether it may be washing, it may be cleaning, or it may be watering your plants, or it may be drinking or for bathing, or anything altogether, right? Water forms a very important part. You cannot do without water. Now, India, which is an agricultural country, okay, so to increase the production, we have to improve our irrigation resources in order to increase our production, all right? Now, how do we improve our irrigation resources? Irrigation means the supply of water by various other means during the time as and when it is required. Because the natural source of water is the rainfall, all right, precipitation, that is the most common form is precipitation. Like during this particular season, like as we are heading towards the monsoon, the season of the monsoons, all right, southwest monsoon, we don't face such water problem. But the water problem that we face is from March, mostly from March to May, because this is the dry season, all right. So all the springs, tube wells, they dry up and the water table falls down because there's no source of water. But during the monsoon, yes, we don't face such a problem together. So we have to improve our irrigation resources. Now, irrigation means, like we'll come to that later on because this is the same chapter on that. Irrigation means like it could be for wells, tube wells, canals, tanks, all right. So these are the different, or reservoirs, these are the different forms of ways and means for irrigation. So in order to bring about more agricultural output, as I already told you, okay, I'm connecting that also, the chapter on agriculture, where we have to follow the system of intensive agriculture, intensive subsistence agriculture or farming. Why? Because of the fact that the land is less, the pressure on the land is very, very high. Like in the developed country, the population is less, but the land is more. But in India, the land is the same, it's less, but the population is more, it's increasing. So we have to improve our irrigation resources, the ways and means by which we can bring about agricultural output. That is one of the key thing, okay. Agriculture is totally dependent on our monsoon system. We already did this in the first chapter. And what are the characteristics? Monsoon is irregular, erratic, unpredictable, and most important thing is uneven distribution. The rainfall is unevenly distributed. At the same time, there may be places which are experiencing severe floods. There may be places where experiencing severe droughts. So there is no balance, all right. So it's dependent on a monsoon system which is irregular, very, very irregular, as well as, this is the most important point, okay, to be noted down. The monsoon, the most important characteristic or the key feature about monsoons in India is the uneven distribution, all right. Now, to tackle the problem of drought and flood at the same time, efficient management of water was adopted by the government immediately after the independence. Now, see, when we go back, we date back, all right, immediately after the after India got her independence, all right, in the year 947, the general scenario of the country at that particular time was there was so much of chaos. One most important thing was hunger, poverty, illiteracy, all right. So these were the problems, the basic problems that the country was facing. Now, in order to tackle, especially see droughts and floods means it's directly going to affect the agricultural front. So in order to make sure that we tackle this particular problem, there was certain measures that were adopted by the government in order to come up with to face this particular problem, right? Now, the policy emphasized on the maximum exploitation. Please remember this, okay? What do we mean by maximum exploitation? Means maximum judicious use of the existing water for irrigation along with other uses, right? Now, what we talk about over here is this particular policy which was adopted by the government, all right, was to make sure that they actually fulfill many of the needs and requirement of the people through various ways, and one of the way that they adopted was the introduction or the setup of all the multipurpose projects here. Multipurpose projects, okay. Now see, when you talk about multipurpose projects, from the word, now why were these projects adopted? Now this was as I said, okay, this was adopted by the government for what reason? For the maximum exploitation or the correct use of the available water resources so that there was no wastage. And from the word multi-purpose, what do you mean by purpose? You know this meaning. Multi means many. We call it as multitasking, right? So multi-purpose projects, there were various projects, but these projects, if you look at it, all right, they were all set up along perennial river system, all right? Now, multi-purpose project, as such, it serves the purpose to fulfill or in order to make the best use of the available water resources in the country. Now, in order to remember what is the use of multipurpose project here, I've just mentioned with the river on the rivers that is set upon. Some of the multipurpose projects are, we have the Bhakra Nangal project, which is along river, where? Along river Satluj in northwest. Then we have the Damodar Valley Corporation, also known as DVC, which is along the river Damodar. Then we have the Hirakud Dam, which is again along the river Mahanadi. Then the Kosi project along river Kosi, and this especially the river Kosi, if you know, it's also known as the river of sorrow because it continuously, it changes its course, bringing about severe floods, especially during the monsoons. Now, I'll give you this a very easy way to learn or to, like to know the various uses of multipurpose project. The simple formula I'm going to give. So the main aim or the main objective of a multipurpose project is the judicial use or the correct use or the proper exploitation of the available water for various uses. Now, as I said, these are some of the names that I've mentioned, all right, for the multipurpose project, all right. There are a number of benefits from these projects. If you look at it, as I'm explaining, if you all can have this down, if you can just jot it down, it'll be easy for you to remember. Just write down over here. Or just beside it, you can just, in your book also, you can just keep a note of it. Finest. This is the formula for remembering the main objective or the main purpose of the various multipurpose projects. All right. First one is F stands over here for fishing. I is for water to be utilized for irrigation purpose. N for navigation, as already told you. E for the generation, the most important thing, that is generation of electricity. S for soil conservation, to prevent soil erosion. And T is again for transport, or it could be, since navigation is already here, I have still mentioned transport, or you can write I hope it's visible. It is tourism. For this is to promote tourism, those places, like a field study, or maybe they can go, like to know about the entire mechanism or the study of the of how generation of electricity takes place and all these. So apart from that, it's a tourist site also, right? So these projects. So it is fishing, irrigation, navigation, electricity generation, soil conservation, and tourism. So this altogether is actually the basic or the main objective of the multipurpose projects that I have mentioned over here, with just a few names, with the rivers that I've mentioned, on which rivers it is, it is located. All right. So we'll carry on with the need for irrigation, importance of irrigation, what are the various means of irrigation, the different forms with its advantages, disadvantages, in my next class. So till then, stay safe and thank you.